All right, so now we're out working with Miss Penny. She's gonna be practicing her recall and redirection. She's had a little bit more time with everything, so this should go pretty well also. She's not older like Luna is. She's definitely a very young puppy, so she'll probably get distracted more with just the surroundings, try to drift more, to work on her drop it and leave it and things like that. Good girl. So might have extra things to work on while we're out here. Good girl. Good job. The reason why I want to try out the ultrasonic device for Miss Penny, just use some leash pressure there to let her know we're going across the street, is because of her potty training. Right now, she's still not signaling. Good girl, good potty, right? She hasn't had any accidents because when she just goes outside, she'll go pee. And then when she looks like she's gonna go inside, I call her to get her attention, and then we do the routine to go potty and leave, which is good, but it still requires supervision, or she might just have an accident inside, right? So the goal is still to get her to signal to us or to come back and start the potty routine. So that's why we're doing a lot of recall and just a lot of threshold training inside, like knowing when she might need to go potty like there, and having her kind of wait after we recall her by the gate, having her hit the bell and stuff before she can actually go out to pee. Hey, how's it going? Good girl. Who's that? Oh, yeah. You're okay. She's shy. Look at this one. He's so well behaved. Hi. It's okay. You're okay. She warms up pretty quickly. After she realizes there's nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah.
Hi, big guy. Oh, we're gonna wrap around Dad now. I'll go this way. Oh, she's just gonna come around me anyways. I'm gonna go over you. There you go.
You okay now?
Oh.
So do you, are you taking new dogs for training?
Yeah, always.
My sister has a Shih Tzu, and it's a small Shih Tzu, but she runs the house.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah.
I got a Pekingese who's a sibling of another pup right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, people are afraid of it too because like they're friendly, but they bark and do everything else that like just scare people.
Mm-hmm.
They're intense, I guess is a good word for it. Kind of like this situation, right? We know that he's friendly, but that intensity is what's scaring the other person. Same thing, but reverse.
Yeah.
What's wrong with or what does your sister need help on?
I think, hey. Just controlling the dog a little bit, walking, a little dark, because she like the way she's like walking 10 steps ahead of her every time, and the non-stop barking when she's there and when she's not there.
There you go, good girl.
Like if they're together, she'll just be barking at him the entire time. He'll just be sitting there, okay.
Gotcha. Oh.
Like he gets excited because he doesn't get out much.
Oh.
So we have to get out here and get some of that energy out.
There you go. You can let him loose a little bit. There you go.
You good now?
Like I said, she'll make her space if she needs to, but she's kind of going back in now too, which is good. I like how she's using Dad as base here. What? That's unfair. Jeez. Oh, I know. I'm sorry, bud. Always good to meet neighbors. They were just interested in playing. She started warming up a little bit. Good girl, sit. Good sit. It's pretty hot out, so hopefully the camera won't overheat. Oh, sorry. Come. All right. So what were we talking about? Oh, so with Penny, she's been really good about not having an accident, and we're working on her holding and then signaling at the door, teaching her touch for both buttons and the bell. So she can do all these things, but she just doesn't do them yet on her own, right? And so part of that is going to be kind of correcting her when she wants to go potty inside, right? Letting her know, no, that's not where you're supposed to go. So she wants to avoid that situation, and then just going back to the routine of getting her to redirect and come to the door to either hit the bells to signal on her own or the buttons. She likes pine cones. So what we'll do, because she's really good about responding to her name, is I'm going to try to get her used to coming back when she hears the tone of the ultrasonic device, as well as the ultrasonic device itself. And that can be really good, like I said, for multiple reasons, whether she is distracted by things, or if you're in a social situation or area where you can't just say her name louder, right, to get her attention. Here she's distracted by that person. Good girl. Perfect. Good girl. All right. And because it's something new, she hasn't really had an opportunity yet to learn to ignore it. And we can also connect it with doing a U-turn, so like a physical redirection if necessary as well. For now, just conditioning her to recognize and recall. That'll just give us another option to. Good girl. She's pretty good about paying attention on walks. We've been practicing sustaining. Come. Good girl. So there, you kind of see she ignored the beep. Then I used the ultrasonic to get her attention. And then I connected that with the recall command. All right. You got a car there, there's nobody in it, so they're probably just warming it up and getting the AC going. We want her to definitely come on command when there's a car approaching. Penny, come. Good girl. No, it's just with her name. And the device isn't to replace that, because we always want her to, and that's leash pressure, we want her to respond first and always to her name, but this just gives us extra opportunities and something new that helps to kind of disrupt her behavior, especially when it comes to potty training, right? If she is focused on needing to go to the bathroom and we're able to disrupt that without having to have her on a leash and physically redirect her, which has been working well, but it's not going to be very convenient for most families. And then also she has the habit sometimes of chewing on the leash, so we don't want to even give her that opportunity by leaving it on. So this will give mom or dad, especially if they're on the phone or if they're watching TV, and they notice that she drifts, just another way of silently communicating and disrupting her, so that way she comes back and then they can do the potty routine together. All right, so all we're gonna do here is get another treat ready. Okay. Good girl. It's gonna normally be easier for people to do because I have only 2 hands and 3 things to hold. Well, I guess 4, but especially when using the longer leash, we also have to be careful she doesn't run out into the street, so we have to be ready to lock the leash. Or, good girl, she just responded well to the leash pressure there, because there's those signs. She's not allowed to go into their yard. So kind of having these things, and then once again, good girl, the leash pressure. Yes, good. To stop her from doing that, and then carrying a camera as well. So this should definitely be less cumbersome for the regular person. And the leash is mostly optional, except for the fact that I said there's traffic, and we want to make sure that she is safe at all times and doesn't just blow through a command to come back or stop. So this gives us kind of that consequence, right? If she ignored her name, she ignored the beep, she ignored the ultrasonic, we have the leash to kind of reel her back in. Like everything else though, we want all the other tools, especially her name, to take priority so we don't have to rely on anything else. And we want the conditioning to be in there so that way she wants to listen for that positive effect of getting a high value treat or reward or just doing the right thing, right? Girl. And try to avoid correcting her whenever possible and just building up that discipline and obedience. Generating a twitch response so that way she hears her name and instantly kind of wants to come back to us. She hears the beep, she wants to come back to us. She hears the ultrasonic, she knows to come back to us. Okay. Penny. Oh, good girl. Good job. And when I'm practicing things like this, in particular, you can string commands together, like having her recall and then heel with you for a bit and then give her a treat. But because today we are specifically just working on recall and redirecting, I want her to feel rewarded right away for listening and coming back, because that's the association and connection that I want to build with her, right? So if we recalled her and then, for example, asked her to sit, she might feel like she's being rewarded for the sit. Now we'll do the tone here when she's distracted by a ball. Oh, didn't get a chance to. Good girl. So now she's distracted by her nose. Oh, I was gonna do it, but then a motorcycle sound from the highway startled her. So this already lets me know why an ultrasonic or the beep will be effective, is because she is naturally sensitive to sounds. And all we're doing is building a good positive association with a certain sound. Yes, good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah, you did so good, right? And every dog is going to be different, but that's one of the reasons why this method works well for her, is because she's naturally very sensitive to sounds. She's already really good at listening to her name. Just getting ready to use the lock on the leash in case she kind of goes out towards the street or anything. And here again is going to be another opportunity because we don't want her to eat grass. We have the same food here that Miss Luna found interesting, right? And we can practice our leave it. Luna, leave it. Luna, leave it. Yes, good girl, come. Good. Luna, leave it. Yes. We got some kids coming up too. She's a little shy of kids, so we'll go ahead and move out of the way a little bit for her. Hi, how you doing? She's curious as soon as they leave because the pressure of the engagement for her is off. Good girl. You can still tell deep down inside she wants to be friendly and she wants to engage. Okay. But yeah, depending on where you're working with her, on like a main street like this, just being ready to lock the leash so she can't run out and get hurt. You always want to make sure that you're paying extra care and attention to the environment. Whereas like the side streets and the courts, or especially an open field, a leash like this is great because you have less of those hazards to worry about. And you just mostly have to worry about not letting her get tangled up in anything. I don't have an extra hand to grab the leash and try to wind it back in that the wrong way. So I don't have the risk of rope burn, but that happens with a lot of people as well. So long as you learn how to properly stop and retract the leash with just using the button and the handle, you should be just fine. I still wouldn't trust it in like a downtown scenario or a really public place. You could always just lock it to the normal length of a regular leash anyways, but I would just prefer just using a regular leash in those instances. But here, in this case, it's really nice to actually be able to let her roam free a little bit, get distracted with all the different scents, and then recall her back in, especially at a distance. The wind is really starting to pick up, so hopefully that's not gonna hurt the audio too much. Got some cheese there. Just use some leash pressure. So just wanted to wait for that car to pass. So we got a person here outside working. So once she gets distracted by them, I'm gonna use the ultrasonic to get her attention back. Luna. Good girl, very good. Good girl. All right. You can kind of see how quickly I went down the line there. We gave her the initial opportunity. Now I'm just using leash pressure so she doesn't bother him. But used her name for the initial opportunity. She kind of blew through that. So then used the beep and the ultrasonic, and I finally got her attention. And then we executed the recall and rewarded her for listening. So that's another reason why sometimes it's good to have extra options. Especially with puppies, if we don't use their name properly all the time, they get used to, unfortunately, finding it optional to listen when they hear it, even though they recognize it. And there's still ways of reconditioning that as well. As I said, right now we're just working on other options for her that will help to disrupt her behavior if she's looking to go potty in the house and not coming directly to us. Good girl. To go potty. I just used the leash pressure there because there's another house that doesn't like dogs in the yard. Wah! So gonna go ahead and get ready again. I'm gonna try to have the treat ready. And this time, instead of using her name, I'm just gonna practice her recognizing the sounds and coming back on her own. Okay, so here she's, yes, good girl. Perfect. Good girl. And that's how you'll know they're starting to build that positive association with something, so that you didn't have to really add in her name and then the come command afterwards. She just heard it, she just started coming back towards us. Okay. Go ahead and get ready to try again. She's doing really good with her walking. And only had to use the leash lock a couple times for leash pressure to let her know where her boundaries were and to either catch up or stay away from something. Okay. So now she's starting to go really fast. I'm gonna vibrate and I'm gonna start walking back. Oh, good girl. Good girl. And that's gonna encourage her to turn around and follow us and come back. So that was really good. Now, I don't want to disrupt her outside when she is actually maybe going potty, so I'm just gonna wait to see what she was gonna do there. She did go potty earlier, so she should be okay, but she might need to pee as well. So we go out on sessions, and then it's still pretty warm out. It's definitely a little bit nicer today with the breeze, but because she drinks a lot when she goes back in, she usually has to pee again when we're out on sessions. She went earlier, so she should be okay. Penny, good girl. Good job. Listen, we're not trying to substitute the tools for her name, so we're still practicing that. Especially in those circumstances where she's about to go into the road. I want her to respond and be rewarded for it. Now we're gonna switch it up. Oh no, she's paying attention, good girl. Now we're gonna switch it up. There's that leaf there, right? Yes, good girl. Just use the ultrasonic instead of her name. Good girl. She's doing really well though. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and pause the recording here just because the camera's starting to overheat. But we're gonna probably give her a break soon anyways. Get some water and then we'll do a couple more rounds. She's doing really well so far though. And a lot of it is just the fact that she very distracted by that leaf there. Just had to lock the leash so she doesn't run out into the street. But no, she's been doing really well so far with redirecting. Just want to keep up the consistency so that way she starts doing these things kind of automatically when she has to go potty as opposed to just looking for a place to go potty. Good girl, come. All right, and sit. Sit. Good girl, good sit. Good job.